Hypnosis scares the crap out of you.
It does.
Do I scare the crap out of you? You can be honest
No.
on that one. Are you sure?
Yes.
I scare the crap out of some people.
Really?
Yeah.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Oh, Miss Rusty. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Public Access Podcast, the podcast here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. I'm your host, Rusty Diamond. And today is episode 599. We're one away from 600. I want to bring back number 500 to be on number 600, hopefully this weekend. So, thank you everybody for being here. You can check the show out on YouTube or Rumble or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Check me out, rustydiamond.net, hypnosisisgreat.com, popuphealing.net, whatever you want. So today I have my special guest going to be on here, and she was on 6 months ago, not long before I went on my summer vacation. So guess who's back? Back again. Lauren Connolly's back. Tell a friend, tell some friends. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? I had a whole conversation with myself trying to figure out if I should put on another shirt because I'm wearing the same shirt as yesterday, but I didn't know if and I recorded a podcast yesterday is the thing. So usually, I want to put on a different shirt, but you know what? I put on a sweatshirt, but I'm wearing the same shirt under it. So I'm telling people anyway, but one of those kinds of things. It was too much of a thing, so I just said it shouldn't matter if that's the point of it.
See, in my house, we call that our uniform, and all the like really smart people. So I've been told, like Steve Jobs or whatever, they had like one outfit that they'd wear all the time. So it's one less decision they have to make throughout their day. So you're just a genius.
Okay, your words, not mine. It's yeah, I mean I have clothes and I had a like a vintage clothing store basically. And I know not a lot about clothes, probably why I'm not doing that anymore, but I have a lot of clothes still and I still only wear a few things. Um I don't know.
You got your favorites. What can you say?
Yeah. Um so enough about me. That's more than three times it needed for the podcast today. But so last time you were on was back before I went on break in May, I think. And yeah, I mean, what's been going on? What's new in the life since last time? Because I was like, I want to get her back on, but I have a 6 month, you can come back on in 6 months for 99% of my guests. I was like, okay, yeah, 6 months, I'll be back and we can do one then. And so now what's been going on with you?
Oh my gosh. So 6 months seems like a lifetime ago now.
Hmm.
I leave next week for a month, and I will be living at the Smoky Mountains National Park as an artist in residence. So
Whoa.
it'll be great. It's a great opportunity for me as an artist. But then as soon as we come home, when I come home from the woods for a month, my husband's going to be moving down to Key West because he got a job there. So it's just like my entire life has been just a giant upheaval.
And so what have you been doing processing that? How's that been going? Or have you gotten to a part where you've gotten to kind of slow down and take that in?
Well, we just found out that he got the job in early October, and the way everything has been lining up and falling into place, it's just like it's meant to be. And it was so easy for him to get the job, and they wanted him to start right away. And we're like, I've got this opportunity in the mountains. I really don't want to miss it. But, it's not a paid position. It's only 1 month. It's not a career. And I'm like, if they're willing to wait, it's meant to be. And they were willing to wait for him until December. And we're just like, okay, that was easy. We just went last week down to Key West and we found him a condo, and the place that we met exceeded our expectations. And the guy was just so gracious and so nice and willing to work with us. And we're like, okay, are you willing to wait until December? Because the places in the Key West, I mean, it just anywhere in the Keys, it just goes
Sure.
really fast. And a lot of the places are, they're not what us Midwesterners are used to at around,
That price point.
$3,000 or $4,000. It's kind of dumpy, but we found an excellent place. It's within walking distance to the ocean, and
But yeah, that's something.
yeah,
That's worth so much. Just
and he was
yeah.
willing to wait until December, and we're like, oh my, like everything just is falling into place. Um, so it's just kind of like it's meant to be. So the first thing that I did, because I'm like, I want to be able to just pick up and travel whenever to go visit my husband. We have a long weekend or whatever. So a lot of the little things that were just kind of keeping me busy were the first things to go. Like I hosted a book club, and that's something where I have to physically be present for. And it was kind of a lot of work. It sounds like it shouldn't be, but reading a book every month is kind of it's labor intensive. Coming up with questions, and at the bookstore that we do it at, they have a little theme, like there'll be a dinner or an activity that goes along with it. I'm like, that's just not worth my time. So it really put into perspective a lot of what I want to do and where I want to be focusing my priorities. I've also since gotten a studio space, and that's kind of been put on the back burner. I've got artwork hanging up, but I haven't had a chance to teach any classes there yet. But again, it's one of those things where she was willing to work with my availability and my price point. And it's like, when things are just easy, I'm always used to it being too good to be true, but maybe sometimes it's just meant to be.
Yeah. And I mean, how are you with the ocean? To go back to the one part of it that
The awesome part of it. Well, I absolutely love the ocean. My what I thought was my career that I was going to have for a lifetime was as a diver up in this area in an aquarium. And my best buddy was the sea turtle there. And I absolutely love ocean life and being by the water. And that it feels so healing to be by the water. And just as soon as I got off the plane in Key West, it's a small airport, you leave outside. And just as soon as that saltwater air hit me, and just like, okay, it feels like coming home. So I'm really jealous that my husband gets to be down there for a year
yeah.
and a half before we get to move down there, but we'll get to visit.
And were you born in Ohio?
I was born in New York, but then we very quickly moved to Ohio when I was 5. And
Okay.
yeah, landlocked kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
like the ocean?
Yeah, I like the ocean. I like hot water ocean, but
Mm-hmm.
like I lived an hour and a half from Cannon Beach, Oregon, and I mean it's the beach. It's the beach, but it's the coast. It's not hot sandy beaches. It's freezing cold rocks and wind galore, and it's it's nice for that, but I'm a warm water beach kind of guy going out and riding waves. That's my style, but it doesn't happen very often. It's
Mm.
not too often, like right now when I live near Philadelphia. I mean, it's not really to it's close to, it's like 2.5 hours to the Jersey Shore, but still that's not that warm. Maybe for a very short amount of time of the year it might be okay, but I don't know. I like my warm water when I do that. What about you? Are you good with the cooler waters?
I do not like cold water, especially when I'm diving. That's a whole new experience. When I was getting my dive master, the water temperature was about 37 degrees at 30 feet. So we were below the thermocline. It's already really cold because it was May when we were testing out in Ohio. So the water hadn't had a chance to really warm up yet. And then when you go below the thermocline, it gets even colder. So at one point, my gear said 37 degrees and people's regulators were getting frozen open. So it was just like free flowing air. And it's horrible because you can't get away from the cold. And we had a task to do. We were supposed to be mapping and like setting points underwater. And all you can do is really just focus on what you're doing. And then that even gets hard because the neoprene in the wetsuit, you still have cold water against your skin, and it's relying on your body heat to try and warm you up, and eventually your fingers get so frozen. So I hate cold water dives. I am super glad that Key West, I shouldn't need really a wetsuit. I'll never dive without at least a skin, like the long sleeve t-shirt type things.
Yeah.
There was one time we got stuck in a current and there was just this school of jellyfish and we were getting stung all over the place. So at least it was a warm water dive and that was comfortable, but and it was not that uncomfortable in the water. It was when we got back to our room and you take a freshwater shower and all those little stingers that are still left in your skin, they start like exploding. I think they're called, anyway, I don't need to get scientific and nerdy.
Well, you should.
All that stuff just starts exploding. That sounds really violent, but it's little. But then you start feeling all those reactions on your skin. It was just like, oh, it was the worst pain. So even in a freshwater warm water dive, you should have your skin protected.
Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know. So, is that something that you're planning on one of the first things you do when you get down there? Are you
Oh
gonna
yeah,
go right for the snorkeling
right for the snorkeling,
or
absolutely.
scuba?
I do either.
Either. Okay.
And it depends on if like I'm there for a weekend, I'm probably not going to dive because you need to wait at least 12 hours between diving before you go flying on a plane because you can get the bends that way.
Oh yeah.
So it
Okay.
terrifies me and I don't even want to like mess with it unless I'm there for quite a few days.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Okay. So yeah, now I'm thinking about the ocean. I need to get down there. I got something coming up. I got a few things coming up, but or a couple things, but yeah, it's not enough. What? Yeah, I'm not jealous. I'm happy for you, but I want to be doing the same thing at some point. I think that'll be pretty awesome.
Well, if the Midwest winters, I don't know how it is where you're at.
Oh,
Where I'm
I
at,
lived
it
in
sucks.
Minnesota.
So I bet that was like beautiful, but also kind of sucky.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was people moved to Alaska to get a warmer winter.
Oh my gosh.
That's what Minnesota is.
Ew, no
It's
thanks.
it's pretty crazy. But yeah, so yeah, I know the Midwest okay. And yeah, no, those Midwest winters, they're
They're rough.
pretty pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah, and in Cincinnati area especially, it's we don't really get lots of thick, beautiful white snow. It's just kind of like slush, and the roads are horrible, and nobody knows how to drive anymore. And it's just gray and dark all the time. And I'm like, I need palm trees, I need sun, I need warmth.
Yeah. Do you think people still drive in parking lots to learn how to drive in the snow? Or like, big open parking lots? It seems like there isn't a lot of people who know how to drive in the snow or have driven in the snow and kind of seen what I mean, with every car you get, you should do that. You should go it with like when it snows, go find the open parking lot. And first time you can do that, first time it's snowing at all, that you have your car, go test it and just let it go and see what you're not going to run into anything. And um, yeah, it's kind of fun. So
Get a feel for it. Go make some donuts. Yeah, my
yeah,
son's 16, so he's got a couple more hours to go before he's completed his 50 and he can take the test. But thank you for reminding me. He is going to go make some donuts as soon as we get a fresh thing of snow.
yeah, because it's not you, and that's another thing. Like that's the part that should be taught as well, but that's just something that you just kind of have to instinctively know that it's not going to be you, and you got to watch out for other people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because yeah, I mean it's good because then yeah, you can learn how to do those micro steers and stuff like that, and yeah, I don't know. I've still spun out a couple times, but it's not too bad for every day in the snow, and yeah, as long as you don't hit anything,
Yeah.
you can just spin out all day. You can spin out all day if you don't hit anything, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, learn how to do that the best you can. Do it until you got it down. Um, yeah, I don't know. I liked Cincinnati, but I went there and I didn't even go into the city when I went there, which was really weird. I just went around the outer communities there, which I wanted to go to Cincinnati, but then I don't know. I got there. I mean, I was basically there. I didn't go into like the downtown, which
Yeah.
I felt was I kind of should have, but I wasn't really feeling it. Um, yeah, I got to see I got to see the house where like when I was a kid, like a baby where I lived. Um, got to go see that. That was kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. Gotta see some people there. Yeah, that was a wild trip. Yeah, Cincinnati's cool. It's a cool spot. But warmer weather and ocean is pretty all right.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I think that Cincinnati, like even I don't know. Yeah, everywhere I've lived has kind of been cool, as far as temperature wise and stuff of that nature. Like going to the warm weather is something that is pretty cool. And yeah, I mean like Oregon was rainy and gray 10 months out of the year. It never got not never. It rarely got super cold or snowy or too snowy, but yeah, it was just always rainy and wet and muddy and um I mean moving to Minnesota it was sunny skies but -30
Mm.
and stuff like that. And it wasn't bad. It was nice because the sunshine, like I didn't really realize I lived in Portland for probably I think 31 or 32 years or the Portland area. And so um getting out and yeah, living there where it was sunny a whole bunch, but just cold, like it felt good. It felt good having that sunshine. Sunshine's important and I don't know if I feel like we need some better way to use it. And I was talking yesterday on the show about we were talking about sunrises and how once I got chickens that ended up being roosters. Didn't know they were roosters until I found out that they were roosters and would hang outside the bedroom um, and wake up before the sun comes up. And so then I started being up, seeing the sunrise a lot. And we've seen a million sunsets, not a million, but a lot. Seen a lot of sunsets, and the sunsets, if you're out of the beach, is always going to be a lot of people. But if you go out for sunrise, there's usually not a lot of people out there, and it's something that a lot of people probably haven't seen too many in their lives. And it's a different experience. I think it's a good way to get up. I like being up. I'm almost up before the sun every day, and so I can watch the sun come up um, in one way or another. And yeah, I don't know. I like it. It might not be for everyone because it's hard to say get up before the sun, but I don't know. Seeing a sunrise at the ocean was pretty cool. Like when the last time that I was on vacation, every day get up before the sunrise, but it was also like 6 hours behind, um, like a 6 hour time difference. So I wake up before the sun anyways, and then add 6 extra hours to that. So it was a little difficult to get on the right schedule, but it was okay because yeah, I get up before the sun and then watch the sunrise, and then as that's happening, and maybe a few minutes after, be the first people in the ocean and start doing everything before everyone is out. And it's not as warm, and the sun's only just coming out, but it's still warm enough. And it's uh, it's a cool feeling. It's sort of like um, I mean, skiing too was kind of the cool thing, being the first person to get to the top of the mountain. You see that all the trails have just been groomed, or else it's, fresh snowfall, and you just have just a bunch of powder you can just fly through, and you're gonna be that first person to go on it. And I do that at the water park too. A first person in it. That was something I thought of when I went there, was that because it opens on Memorial Day weekend, and I went on Sunday because Sunday's, I think, the best time to go, Sunday morning, because most people will be doing family stuff of some sort at that time. And I was just thinking, yeah, that first weekend, it's like this is probably going to be the least amount of pee that's going to be in the water until the end of the year. So like, let's really like make this one count. This is going to be the best one of the year for that. But yeah, I think I went maybe 10 times this summer to the Six Flags water park. Um, yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, it's nice to be the the first. And then the sun. I think the sun's important, is I guess what I'm saying. The sun is
Mhm.
important. And if you live in somewhere like New England or Oregon or Seattle or something like that, go find some sun somewhere for a little bit. At least get some of that, because it's really hard when you don't know. And then when you see the sun, it's like, oh shit, I don't have any of that for months and months. And when the ground's muddy and cold, you can go running around with your shoes and socks off. But I would rather do it when it's warmer, and
Yeah.
uh, you know, that's just my preference. Some people like dirty mud, and that's cool. I'm not a big fan of dirty mud, only sometimes.
Yeah, you got to be prepared for it. I mean, there's so
Hmm.
much to say about the sun, and like I am not really a morning person. I need to work on that, but
Mm-mm.
seeing the sunrise,
You don't need to work on that.
well, I
You
am a
don't like it.
wildlife photographer,
You
and that's the best time to see stuff.
they're up. They're onto something. They're all up and onto something. Like what's
Hmm.
there? That's what I kept thinking. I'm like, what do these stupid fucking white silkies uh what do they know? What are they? They're up before the sun. All these
Yeah.
other chickens and goats are up. The dog's up. And what are they doing? What's going on? What's so good that's going on, and what are we missing out on?
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
so,
I
yeah,
find I get a lot more stuff done if I wake up earlier. It's just so hard to actually get out of bed. But, it takes a little while to make anything a habit. And you are onto something too with the like amusement parks and getting there on a Sunday morning. I loved working Sundays at the aquarium when I had to open it as a floor manager because it didn't start, we'd open at 9. It didn't start getting busy until noon. People are doing brunch, they're going to mass.
oh yeah,
And it was just so quiet and such a peaceful time. You could just sit in one of the exhibit areas and watch the sharks swim and not have to deal with the loud, crazy public yet.
yeah. Like, I mean, Salt Lake City was something. I mean, it's kind of been everywhere that I've been has been had a fairly religious crowd around it, of some sort. I mean, and so yeah, it's been pretty nice to be able to do that. Like in Portland, it didn't matter. Like anywhere in the Northwest, it didn't really matter. Sundays were just as busy as everything else. And so yeah, like yeah, everywhere else it's been great just to get out, and yeah, that was the time, go do something, yeah, before it gets super crowded.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can get out there, get some shots of anything. I mean, that's a whole new part of your photography skills that are 100% untapped. You have no clue what the potential is of that right now, of that time. You could be the best photographer at 4:30 in the morning in the whole world, and you have zero clue that you even are. All you have
Mm-hmm.
to do is wake up at 4:30, and then that could be what you're doing. You could be the best one. There's
Yeah.
nothing, you have no reference of anything right now. You could literally do that. You could literally be the one who's the best photographer at 4:30 in the morning.
Man.
You
Well,
should,
I do have somebody that I really look up to. He used to work at the aquarium and all of his stuff use morning light because that they call it the golden hour, like right around sunrise and sunset. So the lighting is just supposed to be spectacular. I'm glad we had this talk before I go down to the Smoky Mountains because at least at one point I am going to wake up at 4:30 and I'm going to try and experiment and see what I get.
yeah, I really think you should. I mean, yeah, just one day won't hurt you. And then you can go and take, extra 4 hours after that if you want. But I bet you're gonna at least want to do it one more time after you do it one time. And especially in the Smoky Mountains. I've never been to the Smoky Mountains, but uh
Really?
yeah, never been out there. I've yeah, been to a number of places, but that's kind of an area I just haven't got to. I'd I'd like to, because yeah, I mean it's a big area. It's a big area, a lot of states, and yeah, it's like a whole mountain range that I haven't really seen. I mean, I've seen like, yeah, Cascades and a little bit of the Rockies, and then I don't know. I guess close to the Appalachian, as is said. That's what they say. I guess they say Appalachian, and I don't want to say it. It's one of those things like trying to say a lot of words with a an accent, but saying it with an accent can kind of be good. I also learned that with Japanese, that if they have, I guess, three different kinds of or variations of their language, and one of them is like sort of like you have to say it in their accent, like you would say a word like toilet, like toilet door. Like they wouldn't know what toilet was, but they would know that, and so you just kind of make every what you say the English word, but in that kind of accent. And that's supposed to be the best way that Americans and Japanese people can speak to each other with knowing neither of you knowing either one of the languages, which is one of the coolest things. And I wish I had known that so many years ago. That would have been such a cool thing to just be able to speak to someone in Japanese, but be able to have like a faster getting to know someone that doesn't speak a language at all and having that much of a understanding of both what we're trying to say almost instantly. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's the same in other languages, but at least with English.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that. Well, and now we've got all those cell phone apps, so you can just talk into it and then it instantly translates it for you. Like,
Yeah, which is crazy. And it will do it I mean it can do it when you're being recorded. If you like you're talking this way, it will like when you're done recording, I think it's after you're done recording. It might be able to do it while you're recording, but when you're done recording, it goes and takes your mouth and your words, and it says it all in any language you ever wanted to say it in, like perfectly and fluently with your voice and your mouth moving totally in sync with it. And I don't know. I've been having a lot of AI conversations lately, and uh, I don't know. I'm getting more excited for it. I'm, which I didn't know I was going to take that view. I was kind of excited about it. Then I got a little cautious, and then I got excited about it, and then cautious, and then kind of excited about it again. That's where I'm sitting right now. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Then I think it's going to give us, more time to explore other things than and I don't know, because yeah, with jobs, it's going to eliminate. I don't remember how many hundreds of thousands of jobs, but it's going to create more jobs than it's going to destroy. And it's kind of messed up because I think a lot of us, myself probably included, for most of the stuff that I do, are going to have to learn something new or really get into what is you to do stuff. And I don't know what it's going to look like. Or someone, what was it? They said if it's going to be uh Blade Runner or some other movie, like what do you see, with once AI and robot droids are doing a bunch of stuff, like it can kind of go one of two ways, but I think it'll be good. I think it's gonna be a good thing. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but I'm trying to find the good in it. And I think a lot of things are progressing, and even creatively, you can say it's killing creative stuff all day, and it's killed a lot of my creative stuff, but it's also created me a lot of creative stuff that I would have never been able to do in my life. 10 lifetimes of what it can do, and almost instantaneously. It's it's almost kind of the Matrix, in a way. Just you all of a sudden have this skill and it's in there. But where are you with AI?
that's really funny that you asked because I have Chat GPT up on my screen right now. Um, I love it, and I also kind of hate it because of the potential that it could. Like, and we've all seen Terminator and that kind of
Right.
stuff. And what was it, iRobot, which Elon Musk's his robots that he just announced last week or whatever and had him parading around, they look just like
Yeah.
iRobot.
Yeah. There needs to be someone else who's a good person. I don't know if that's the right term, like someone that doesn't have a bunch of other crazy reasons why they want to have these things. Just someone who can take most of these technologies to some extent and you can even let the AI have it be enough of a change. The AI could probably, hey, here's this patent that Elon Musk has. How can we get around that and create something pretty similar? And then you create that, give it as a open source, more ethical thing, and let people, let other people be able to build these robots that can do good and stuff and be able to price them out somehow. There's so many ways that it could go so well. It just needs, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I believe the model of what's planned for robots, but I think that robots and AI could be pretty helpful.
Yeah, it's definitely been very helpful for my podcast. This is the second one that I've started with Wild Developments, and it's just me. It's a solo team. My first one we started 4 years ago. That was with 4 other people. And like collectively, it was a lot harder to get all the jobs done than it is by myself using AI. Like I use iTranscribe and it gives me the entire podcast and I throw it into ChatGPT and I'm like, make a blog for me. I check it and make sure everything's right. And then what is the most powerful quote from this podcast? And it'll give me a quote so I can make the cover for the blog. And there have been a couple times where the quote, they'll say something that I didn't recognize. Like they talked about a bridge or something. I'm like, I don't remember us talking about that. And I'll have to do control find and it's not in there. And it just totally made it up. And my husband was telling me that it's called an AI hallucination. And I'm like, wait, they can hallucinate? And he's like, yeah, apparently. And I'm like, well, how do we know we're not freaking AIs? Like,
Right.
this could all be a simulation. We don't know.
It very well could be. And it's, I guess, how well you can do in this simulation and how well you do matters to you. What uh what it is you want to do, what it is you want to get out of it, what it is you want to input into it, and
And
what
like
is it you want it.
mindset.
Yeah, it's it's there, and I mean you can make it, you can ask, how can you help my life? And if and then so this is another one. So somebody recently said to go into your chat GPT or whatever you're using at the time, and you ask it these words. You ask it, what do you know about me that I don't know about myself that I have learned from these interactions? So
Learned.
be prepared to get introspective after that.
I just asked my chat GPT.
Okay.
It said I have versatile creativity, which I kind of knew that.
Yeah.
Natural leadership and community builder, resilience and adaptability, deep connection with nature, empathy. Okay. I don't think it told me anything I didn't really already know.
Well, maybe you should ask that again. You should
Ooh,
say, hey, you didn't really get me. I knew all this stuff. You got to dig deep. Thank you. I
you're a
say, thank,
natural.
oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
you think it?
Oh, I thank it and I say, please. Yep.
See, Alexa pisses me off and she'll be like, it's been a month since you've ordered this face cream. Would you like to order it? And I'm like, fuck off, Alexa. And I'm like, I'm going to be the first one that gets attacked and if AI takes over.
You just have to communicate to AI that that's how you communicate and it's nothing personal. That's how I teach you. That's just
That's
how
my
I
love
am.
language, Alexa. Fuck
Yeah,
off.
it's right. Yeah, and that's what you should say. And then Alexa will understand that, and then you can talk to it that way. And nothing personal, Alexa. This is my most effective way of communicating with you that I can understand very easily. And you're smart and you can understand that easily too, right? And then you're good. And then you say, uh, you ask it, how do you, ask me questions that you would need to know how to best write things in my voice and my sound and my tone and everything, and then give it more and more uh writing samples, and then it's kind of nice.
I'm gonna have to
That
do that. My husband suggested that too. He's like, "Do you have it right in your tone?" I'm like, "I don't know that I really know what my tone is," but that's an excellent point. Have it ask me the questions.
Yeah, go back. Yeah, right. Because that's the whole thing. That's what AI wants more than anything. They're they're the they're the please ask me questions about how I can do my job better, or please ask me questions about anything. And I mean that's a really cool fucking mindset to have as well. Um, why not? Why not have that? Why not have that for anyone? And so yeah, I mean, once it can do that, it's pretty fun. And there's been a lot. I mean, it's helped me with all kinds of stuff with hypnosis. Unreal. Unreal how much that can help with hypnosis.
Interesting.
Yeah, and yeah, coming up with better things to say. Better ideas just by me telling like I need this to be like I need this to go deeper. I need this to be way deeper. I need us to get more into this level and be able to see this kind of event happening and be able to process it this way and be able to get out and have this awesome output. And then ChatGPT just goes, I can't. That's me trying to. Yep, I'm just gonna edit that out, and it's just gonna be that you interrupting me there and doing it perfectly. That that'd be a lot better. Just like cuts to you right there, and it's like, okay, wow, I she just did it. uh, yeah, uh, yeah, and then it just does it and it spits it out. And then sometimes I'll say, make it a little longer or add some more here, or and I've really been able to get into some of the best stuff, and yeah, just using that. And I'm all about, compounding things, making things better, always looking how to, you know, put something else with something else to make that even cooler. And I mean that's kind of where I am with AI. It's just something
It,
else.
it can be really great for like decision fatigue and trying to like the B picture behind me. So a lot of
Yeah,
these art contests, I'm gonna say it, it's kind of bullshit that every piece that you submit, you have to come up with a name for it. And I'm like, I don't know, it's a bee with a flower. Like that's not, I don't enjoy that part of that process. I guess some people do.
that's what you
Whatever.
should call it. That's what you should call it.
The bullshit.
100%. No, the whole thing that you just said, and just have it be really long about, yeah, I don't want to come up with a name for this, or,
It's a
this is
waste of my
bullshit.
time
It's
and
a
my
waste of my
thought
time.
process.
This
So I
is a
asked,
bee with a flower.
yeah, ChatGPT pollination station. I'm like, great, love it. That's what I used. And I
That's,
asked for a list of 10.
yep. Yeah. And uh writing stuff like that, writing comedy, coming up with punchlines, it takes a little while, but the jokes you get out of it are better than any joke I've ever written. That bear in mind, I'm
Really?
not very funny, but the jokes and the punchlines that it's come up with have been great. I just would take old jokes and I'd say, change the punchline, or, help out the premise, cut out some words, and it just why not use that? Or, it's for there's so much. Is it unethical to use this stuff? Well, I mean, I don't know. If it works, it works. Why not do that? I can make Beavis and Butthead style thumbnails for every episode now just because I want to. And yeah, I mean, like, I think I put in, yeah, give me a Beavis and Butthead style animation of people doing, or Beavis and of, yeah, I think I said people doing yoga and hypnosis, and then came up with a picture, and then I was like, okay, that's perfect. It is Beavis and Butthead with in a yoga pose, and I'm like, okay, sweet, let's roll with that. And that's something I could never do in my
Mhm.
life. If I had $1 million, I can get it done in fucking 30 seconds. And it's way cooler than anything I could have ever done. And I think it can level up a lot of people who don't have a lot of skills. It's something they're lacking in something, but they have ideas. And it's really, I think it's going to be a big time for idea people. And if you have idea and now you have something, you can bounce ideas off of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a fucking very, very powerful tool. And why not use it? You can reinvent yourself to be the best version of yourself. You could take all this and just you can better yourself in infinite ways. And it's all there. And why not do it? Why not better yourself? You're you're learning the lesson.
Hmm.
You're
It's
learning it one way or another. Yeah.
I kind of look at it as a way to organize. There's so much freaking information out there right now, so much, and it just kind of organizes it all. And I'm like, okay, I'm giving it the puzzle pieces, and it's helping me put it together faster than I ever could.
Right. And that is amazing. That's I mean, before you know, going to the library, having to I
The
mean,
Dewey
even when I
Decimal
was in
System.
yeah, the Dewey Decimal System. I remember even in middle school or high school when the thing went uh, online, and you could then type it in to see where it is in the if there was some magazine article. I think it was maybe eighth grade we got that, and we could do that in our library. But then we still have to go, pull out the card catalog and then
Mhm.
look through and find it, and then go search through all the Dewey Decimal, and then you gotta read it, and then you gotta make sure you don't plagiarize it,
Mhm.
uh, because then that's a whole friggin' thing. Put this into your own words, but you're just taking the idea. And so here's something that can do all this instantaneously, and just put it right here and leave you. That's like, oh, one problem solved. I can reach a deeper level of the understanding of this problem and this part of life that has not been solved to the best of the ability. I can work on this now, and I can get to a deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper level. And boom, I just did that. And I would have never got to that my whole life, probably, had I done it the other way. And it's without this tool, without the chat GPT.
Mhm. Hey, kids these
So,
days don't realize how easy they have it. They really don't.
right. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason really to do homework anymore. I mean, they have this tool that you just go and you take the piece of paper, you stick it up to the camera. It does everything for you in probably less than a minute. 1 minute would be long for it. And then
Yeah.
that's your whole homework. And you have it in your own writing, any sort of, even if you have it the most uh, AI, obviously written AI thing, and it pops out an essay for you, and all you have to do is change each sentence wording, but you have all the information you need. You just need to change that and do that in your own voice, and that's all you have to do to have the project done. That's awesome. I couldn't imagine that. I would be done with, well, I mean, I didn't do work, so my work was already done, because it didn't get done. So it really, yeah, became a now you can just learn it. Now you can have time to learn what you want to learn, and you can get to those other points. I don't want people, well, you know what? If they want to, they can. Some people may get lazier. And you know what? And that's okay. If they want to get lazier, that's them and that makes them happy. Okay, sure, fine. I try not to do that, but I can get that way sometimes. But I think that, always trying to better yourself or learn something that you really care about. Because, like, for me, I didn't give a shit about one thing I learned in grade school, middle school, high school, college. Not really. Maybe a couple things with psychology and sociology in college, but only the very basic part of each one of those. Then I didn't like it anymore. But I mean, yeah, it was nothing really that I was ever interested in, but I would always like be really interested in other things, and I could tell you a lot about a lot of other things, but just nothing in school was ever good for me. And like I could have had time to go and learn about other stuff and just have all this work that I don't care about that's not going to probably help me out too much in life, just done and not taking any of my brain power more than just a tiny bit. Hell yeah. Hell
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, really, you can just kind of look anything up whenever you want. Although the more I am getting into AI, the more I also am leaning into trying to homestead and grow my own food. Because, like, what
Yeah.
if the system and everything crashes? How
Right.
am I going to feed myself? How, like, there are natural remedies for things. And like, I want to know more about that. And like, the more technology has been growing, the more I'm like, I need to connect more with nature.
Yeah. And I had a woman at the YMCA therapy pool tell me that she asked, "Are you a homesteader? You look like a homesteader." And I like, what does that mean? What does I don't know.
Well, you had
Uh,
chickens, so you were on your
I
way.
I I did. I was there at one point, so maybe I still have that look. And like, I mean, yeah, there's a little Amish farm that's about 3-4 minute drive, and they have donkeys and goats and chickens and ducks and I don't know, that's some other stuff. But it's cool. It's cool to be around that. And like the homesteading would be great. And you know what? You can go and you can ask ChatGPT how best to get there and how to
Yeah.
more homesteading remedies. And uh so somehow got on the subject of blood type for diet. And because I saw someone talking about it. I was like, oh, it's pretty interesting. And then it's like, well, what could, make sure that, you know, I don't know, like, what foods would be good, like together for the blood types. But yeah,
Have
I
you
mean,
done that test yet?
I didn't know there's no test.
Well, there is, well, there's a
All you
test.
have to
They'll
do
take
is you
your
go,
money for anything.
yeah, you can go on to ChatGPT. If you know your blood type, you go on to ChatGPT and you say, what are the foods I should eat with uh with the my blood type being such and such, and then what foods should I avoid, and what foods can be eaten with someone else who has a different blood type, and kind of what can be stored around, what will be the best ideal diet to have, and it spit it all out.
I wish I would have known that a couple years ago because I did. It's called Geno Palette, I think it's what it's called. It was like
Okay.
$50 and it told me, based on um your blood type, I think I'm AB. And the number one food for me was eel. And I'm like, hell no.
Oh,
Fish are friends. They are not food. I do not eat seafood and lots of fruits and vegetables, which I do not eat. I still need to talk to you. Now that I got you in person, I should talk to you like about hypnosis and because that scares the crap out of me.
You will sleep better than you have ever slept. You've never been this relaxed. Are you ready to change your life?
I'm Rusty Diamond, certified hypnotist. You don't need to leave your house. You
can stay in your bed. You can stay in your favorite chair.
You just need a computer or your phone.
You can get a hold of me. Stay at home. I'll make your life better.
Hypnosis is great.com. Hypnosis scares the crap out of you.
It does.
Do I scare the crap out of you? You can be honest
No.
on that one. Are you sure?
Yes.
I scare the crap out of some people.
Really?
Yeah. Like I couldn't. I was talking about this with my mom. So my mom came out here we went up to Allentown, Pennsylvania. She had
Well, that's a nice area.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Her mom was born there, and her grandma had a place in a nearby town. And so we went to that house because she had a picture on her wall of my grandma and some other people in this house, and she wanted to show them the picture and say, "Oh, yeah, this was my grandma's house." I'm not really sure. And so I was with her in the car, and then she asked if I wanted to go with her to go get out of the car and go stand at the door. And this is like kind of in a more rural place. So I was like, I'm gonna sit in the car. Like if I show up in the, a rural place on someone's front door, like no, it's not the same as my mom just showing up by herself. So I stayed in the car. But uh yeah, there's some people that I do. But
Interesting.
yeah, I have, yeah, there's certain ones, but it's kind of, I think, that way for everyone.
Well, I
And
have resting bitch
but
face, so I scare people all the time.
me too. I have resting bitch face too. And like, yeah, I've had it. I went to the mall one time to a Sbarro, I think at Clackamas Mall near Portland. And I was with my friends. And before I even ordered, this guy that was working there, like, thought I was, you know, looking at him wrong or something. And he was like telling his boss, "Hey boss, I gotta go. I'm going outside right now. Like he's taking his fucking apron off. Like I'm gonna go out and kick this guy's ass right now." Um, I'm just standing there just with the resting bitch face. But so what was the hypnosis you were interested in?
Um, well, I do not eat fruits and vegetables. It is something along with resting bitch face, that I have struggled with my entire life.
Well, that's okay to have resting bitch face. There's nothing wrong with that. That's
Well,
just a thing. You just have to learn how to embrace it and
that's
really
true.
accept it.
When I did 5 minutes of stand up for a challenge one time with my other podcast, and that was something I talked about in 2020 when we had to wear the mask all the time. People were coming up to me and talking to me so much, and I'm like, what in the hell? Like, people need to stay back. Like, this is the time we're supposed to be 6 feet apart. And I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, holy shit, I don't have resting bitch face anymore. Apparently it's like all in my mouth. Even when I was itty bitty, like 7 years old, my friend's mom would always be like, oh, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm totally fine. Like, inside, I am happy. Might not
Yeah.
look like it on the outside, but inside, I feel great.
Yeah. And you do. And you feel great. And so like, what's the big deal? Like you just learn to accept it, and people are
Don't
just
care
like,
what other people think.
yeah. And if they start thinking that, you just go, it's the resting bitch face, isn't it? And you just say that, and like, who's gonna get mad at you for that? How can anything escalate from there? You just accept it. And you're like, oh, that's got to be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you're up for that, I don't know. I don't know. That's something I'm gonna start saying now. Whenever that happens, I haven't tried that yet, but
Make a little pin that says, I'm not angry at you. I just have resting bitch face or
right,
something.
yeah, just so people know, and it's a good thing for people to know. And there's, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff with people not wanting to have something that would put or attract I can't say that word, to call attention to yourself, that like, oh, here's a button that says I have resting bitch face, don't worry about it. But like, that can be helpful for somebody.
Or it could be like, ask me about my RBF, and people are like, what's RBF? But then they'd have
Yeah.
to ask you first, and then I think I just scare people off, which is horrible when like I'm trying to sell artwork at an art fair, like people don't approach me, you know?
Who approaches you?
Well, you have a little table with, you know, your
Well,
artwork displayed. And I think like
yeah.
just if I leave to go to the restroom and my husband's watching the booth, I come back and there's like everybody surrounding it. And then I show up and everybody scatters. And I'm like, what did I say?
You know what you should do next time? You should get 2 booths, and you should have your husband be at one and you be at another one. And then he can sell to those people that think it's his art or that he's selling it. And then you have the one that you are selling from your art, and probably with the money that, that he makes, if he makes more with the more people coming in, you can take that money and pay for the
Second booth.
second booth. But then the people who are going to come to you are the people who are going to come to you. And if other people don't come to you, they're not people who, I mean, it's not numbers. It's the people who are there and the people who are connecting with it. I mean, this show has not a whole lot of people tuning in. It has people tuning in, and I'm thankful for every single one. And I hope that they're able to connect with a lot of the stuff that we're talking about on here, and um that they're on it for some sort of level. I mean, your people doesn't have to be a lot of people. And numbers are relative. It's Yeah, I mean, yeah, your people are your people, and the right people are going to come to you. The people that are interested in it. I mean, yeah, had a what's it called? A retreat a few weeks ago, 4 healers, and we had 2 people as guests. So, I mean, they were ready for that, and they got a killer experience. And, you know, if it's only a smaller group of people who are buying from you, or even seeing your art, those are your people. So, I mean, like, who comes up to your booth? Who comes up to your booth? Who buys from you? What are the people kind of like?
Um, a
Or is
lot
there a
of them,
certain?
I don't know if there's a certain type. Now I have to really think about that. It's like usually people around my age or a little bit older. They're into nature. A lot of the pet portraits sell really well, and do a lot of commissions for that. Um, but yeah, the best times that I have is when I'm teaching and getting that one-on-one connection, and which is something that ChatGPT earlier told me that my strength lies in connection, not perfection. And I always focus on, being perfect and not the connection. And the connection is really what matters. I had a
Yeah,
marketing lady tell me, it doesn't matter what your numbers are on your podcast. Like there are some weeks I get maybe 20 listeners, and she's
that's
like,
great.
you see 20 and you think that's such a small number. But if you're in a room full of 20 people, and you're making connections with 20 people, like think of it that way.
Yep, yep. And it's pretty amazing. And I mean, so when you did stand up, um, how much of what what parts of it really connected the best, or what was the part of your set or your presence out there that connected the most with the fans, do you think?
The part where I was talking about the resting bitch face, I think, and that was one of the first things I talked about. And I could almost feel like everybody lightening up and relaxing a little bit, like, oh, she's not actually a bitch. She is kind of funny. So that, God, I loved being up on the stage and I loved getting that laughter. Like that is a high that you cannot explain to anybody unless you just do it. And then I had another bit about seats, and we moved into a new house and we were looking at stools, and this guy's like, go ahead and have a seat, and he kind of like rubs the chair, and like there was just something about the way that he said seat that just made me uncomfortable. And then I sit on it and I realize on the stool, the only thing that's touching the seat is my ass. And I'm like, looking around, I'm like, seats are just places to put your ass. And, you got places to put your ass at the kitchen table, to play games, to eat dinner, all these things. And I'm like, if I ever open up a restaurant, I'm going to call it Assets, or not a restaurant. If I ever open up a furniture store, it's going to be called Assets. God, that was like 4 years ago. That the joke was a little rusty, but that one got some laughs too. And the time I was cleaning and accidentally mixed bleach and something else and almost made mustard gas. So they were laughing about that.
Yeah. And well, I mean, like you said, like the part about the rusty bitch face was the part that they connected with the most and felt that like you just kind of owning what it is, and like that's just okay, yeah, this is just kind of, and then it, yeah, can, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it then, and then yeah, it can just be told, and you just sort of like, okay, well, this is what I'm working with, and the best, I don't know, you gotta, when you're trying to better yourself, the best version of anything you can be is yourself, just better. I mean, rather than trying to be somebody else, just trying to be the best version of yourself is the best it's ever going to be. And go for it. Go for it. And um, so I want to go back to this too. What was it about hypnosis that scares you?
Yeah, we got a little sidetracked.
Yeah, I was wanting to know that
I
because
don't. There's something too about like this. I've only been knocked out for a surgery once, but you see the videos nowadays where people are like coming out of it, and I'm like, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth because sober, I say stupid shit sometimes.
is
Like,
that bad?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't want to look stupid, but who cares really at the
To
end of
who?
the day?
Do you look stupid to yourself? You don't look stupid to yourself, then you're fine.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
don't.
just
True.
what it is.
Well,
It's
and I guess I don't want to say something that might accidentally hurt somebody's feelings, but they'd also have to
but
realize, like, if I'm out of it, you're out of it.
so okay, so if you were doing a hypnosis with me and you were right there or wherever you want to be, if you have like maybe a hammock there somewhere in the background that I don't see or whatever, and I'm right here and you are coming out of it and you say something really weird, which just so you know, hasn't ever happened. No one's ever done that. But if you did do that, you would be saying it to me, and everything, every conversation and every interaction is under HIPAA. So like I can't say anything anyway. So whatever you say is just between yourself and me and HIPAA. So um I mean, yeah, it's that, I mean, yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about that. And if you did say something, or if you do uncover something when you're in hypnosis, it's great because it is probably, besides some hallucinogens, maybe, this is probably going to be the most relaxed and open your brain is going to be to new thoughts. And when you're in hypnosis, you have the wonder of, I want to say, a 4 or 7 year old. I don't remember the number of age of that one. And there's just a lot less of, having a, I guess it's almost cynicism through everything else. Like you can just take everything as, oh, okay, like that's what it is. And you don't have the novel, no, but it's just it's like being the drunk person at the party for how you feel, but without the feeling of intoxication of not knowing what's going on. Because I mean, in it, you may fall asleep during it. You may also be awake, but then also whatever comes up in there is, yeah, you're going to be at the more relaxed and open you are to go through any of it. And whether it's um, meditation, Reiki, uh, any other sort of modality like that, as well as, the sort of the same thing, that's going to be the best time, even, yeah, the best time for your body to be able to process it and work through it. And so, yeah, I mean, there's literally anything you want to work on or work through, you can do it. If you also want, I'll tell you this. If it's something that you want to improve, would this be something you want to improve or something you'd like to work through,
Oh
or
gosh,
both?
maybe both.
Okay. If you really want at least the part for improving, you can go into ChatGPT and you can tell it to write you a self hypnosis to read. And then every day when you wake up, you read that. And then that will take care of that. You can do that on your own. You don't need me or anyone else. That's fine. If you want, I can get you on, or I'm happy to hypnotize, or you can find someone else. But yeah, as far and then working through stuff, I like to I like to do that one. I don't like to toot my own horn, but that one I'm really good at, and I have my own way. And so, sort of what happens is you, and it may not be what you think it is that you need to work through. It may be something that happened before then too, which happens more often than not. And but then you can go back to that place, and only one more time you gotta revisit it all the way through, like replaying it in your head. And then after that, then it's just the whole vision gets more and more ridiculous, and almost, and as messed up as it sounds, like almost gets you laughing by the end. As like, and that can only really make sense under hypnosis to say like how fucked up it is, and at least give you a completely different stance on how you feel about that event and able to work through it. Give your inner child a hug, and then be able to rest after that and get back to where you need to get to. And yeah, I mean, it's what I can do in an hour and a half, and it's 93% effective, would be what 600 hours of talk therapy would be 34% effective.
Wow.
So that's something that I can offer. Some people have similar, but mine is different in that way. And it's it's a really fast way to work through trauma, faster and more effective than anything else that I know of. And that was one of the parts that sold me on hypnosis, because I thought it was all bullshit. I thought it was all bullshit. I I'm from the world of wrestling. I thought 95% of everything that I see is bullshit, and 90% of everything I hear is bullshit. And then and yeah, I thought it was like a magic show. Someone had to be in on it, and then yeah, tried hypnosis and then found out like, okay, this is the real deal. But if hypnosis isn't your thing, I would go Reiki, um or something of that route, if that's also something they do the same thing, or even meditation, or EDMR, I believe is what it's called, like the tapping and some sort of modality of that to work through. And they would be able to do pretty much the same thing, but um, just in a slightly different way. But whichever one you feel most comfortable with is cool. And I'm not going to take offense if it's not hypnosis. Like the other ones work just as well. If not, maybe better to some people, maybe not better to some people. But they're all they all have the exact same output. And I would rather have you go to one of those or another hypnotist. Uh, yeah, hypnotist, Reiki, meditation or whatever else I said. But any one of those would be able to work through that when you feel you're at that time to work through it, because don't try to work through something or make yourself better until you really want to, because if you don't really want to, you're not going to. And then it's only going to just beat you up more on the inside. And that's an like a completely unnecessary stress on anybody. Like with smoking cigarettes, which I was talking with the guy I had on yesterday, like a week ago, that like both of us hate doing that hypnosis. It works, but there's not really enough from it. Like it's great if you want to stop smoking, but I mean, I talk to a lot of people. I'll talk people out of that 9 times out of 10. It's like, do you want to stop smoking, or does someone else want to have you stop smoking? Or like, if you don't really want to, it's not gonna do anything. But I mean, yeah, if you get into any of those, even yoga too, um, get into yoga and you can work through all that. Um, I'm still working through a big list of things that I'm working on and working through, and it's probably will be never ending, but there's always, there's always ways to work through things. And you can even, so now ChatGPT has voice. Like you can talk to it, you can say, hey, ChatGPT, talk to me in a, I don't know, I don't know. I've seen it like where it was think like an East Los Angeles Mexican man, and it spoke like it, and it was crazy. But you can also do your therapy through ChatGPT if you really want to, and you can work through it. You can say, hey, ChatGPT, whatever you call ChatGPT, maybe it's still ChatGPT. Here's what I want to do. I want to work through this event, and I want you to talk me through it. And you can have me, you can ask me more questions to be able to come up with the best way for me to work through this, most effective way um to work through this. And yeah, I mean, you can have it, yeah, act as whatever you'd want to call, act as a therapist, act as a life coach, or whatever you'd like to call that. And you can keep that as simple or as in depth if you want, as you want. And I mean, you can go really in depth if you want, and you can have ChatGPT just, how do I better my life right now? I'm doing this right now. How do I better my life? What do I have to do? What's the best thing I can do? And I mean, yeah, you can
Crazy
have
what it can
ChatGPT
do.
hit. What's that?
It's crazy what ChatGPT can do. And like honestly, it would remember your answers better than a human would.
Yep. and it would be able to analyze a lot more uh, small nuances of what's going on as well, and be able to have more insight onto different things that could be going on or different things that need to be worked on. And why not just let it help you?
And
Um,
you can visit it whenever you want and not like
yep,
schedule. And I don't
yep,
know. I had done therapy years ago, and it was like it would be something that I would not look forward to in my day. And it just, sometimes you just have to be in the right headspace to visit some of those things.
yep. And I agree. And um, yeah, and you can just do it whenever. I mean, like, and wherever you can be out in the Smoky Mountains at 4 o'clock in the morning before you're out taking pictures at 4:30, and you can talk. You can just ask it, act as my hypnotist life coach or something like that, and make my life better. And then, how can we do this? What do you need to know from me? And then ask me any questions that would help get you a deeper understanding as we go through this, and see what happens.
I did want to ask, during hypnosis, are you, when you're dealing with trauma, do you call them patients or
Clients.
clients?
Yeah.
Is it kind of like revisiting it as an observer and without judgment kind of thing?
Yep.
Or okay.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then
Like
not so okay,
oh, sorry.
go
Like if
ahead.
so what I usually set it up as you're in a movie theater and you're watching it on a screen, or like at a drive-in theater and watching it up on the screen. And so you're that one step away from it already, but you're observing the whole thing. And then we add goofy shit, all kinds of goofy shit. Uh and it sounds so incredibly insane to say that not under hypnosis, of what happens with that. I don't want to, I probably have given it away before, but I don't want to give away too much on that part. But it just becomes funnier and funnier and less impactful until it's fine to watch through and you feel okay about it and it's processed. And so, like, if it's something that triggers somebody, if there's some event and every time something reminds them of that event, they're going to be, and every time you avoid something, it's twice as strong when something again hits you that you're avoiding, and that hits you again. And so, like, and the more that you're trying to put, not you, but the more, you know, we are trying to put that event behind us and kind of leave it alone. Anytime something comes up that triggers that event, is going to, get you and affect someone, however, in whatever way. And once it's been worked through, then it's already filed. And like, if something happens again, you're going to have like a much, much less reaction, more of a, okay, kind of a reaction. And so, like, once you start the hypnosis, like, that thing, whatever it is never going to be as impactful as it is at that moment. And it just gets less and less until you're dead. And whatever happens after we're dead, I don't know what it is. But until then, every second it gets easier and easier. So
Do you ever find
yeah.
that you have clients that like I went to the Eucharistic Congress in Indy this past summer, and that was very healing for me. And things that used to trigger me, like mentally didn't trigger me anymore. My body was still holding on to those, like it was out of habit. I can't really explain it other than I'm like mentally I know I'm okay, and I know that I'm not really being triggered, but like my body still was in that habit of being triggered. Have you ever had clients that go through that?
Yeah. And then you do this and it's at least one's done. there might be more, but the one that is the most impactful on you will be taken care of first, for sure. And that's, like I said, it might be something that you had no clue about, maybe something even that was suppressed that you don't remember at all.
That's what scares
Um,
me too.
but that's okay. But then you would have this part of you that's healed and worked on already, and then whatever's in your subconscious is something that's going to be like it's affecting you right now, but if you go and work through it, it'll come up once and then it's not going to affect you and you start feeling better. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I was the last person to buy into any of this stuff. And so you said you went to what was it called? The
Eucharistic Congress in
Euchar- so,
Indiana. It was this summer, so they had Eucharistic pilgrimages where they had the body of Christ coming in from all four corners of the US, and they met at Indy, and it was a beautiful experience. They had adoration, they had speakers like Father Mike Schmitz, and I forget some of the other speakers they had. They had Jonathan Rumi there at one point, who plays Jesus on The Chosen. So it was just an incredible experience. They had a replica of the Shroud of Turin, which was just
okay.
incredible to see in person, and
How'd you feel?
totally
How'd you
at
feel the
peace.
whole time?
Totally at peace. And
Do you
it
want
was
to
so crowded.
do you want to know something?
Hmm.
You want to know what they do?
What did they do?
Hypnosis. It's
They,
the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the same feeling that you get with, yeah, hypnosis, with Reiki, with meditation, with prayer, with experiences. Like, I mean, yeah, it's all the same. That's what, like, that's, and maybe that's how you go and you phrase it. That's what you get ChatGPT to do, and you get it to act like ChatGPT is leading that event and take me through because that's how you connect with the world is through that the best. Is that a fair statement? That would,
I
or
would
was
say
there a
so.
different
And
way?
it was not something I was seeking when I started down this path. That's for sure. I went to a retreat a couple years back, and I was like, I was kind of the same way you were with hypnosis. Like, this is a bunch of crap. Nothing's going to happen. And it was the most transformative and amazing experience in my entire life.
Yeah. And so that should be what you should do. You should go and if not ChatGPT, reach out to whoever was leading the conference or whoever was doing that. I assume it's probably a pretty busy person, but you can tell ChatGPT to act as that person, as they would put them in the brain of that person. And then you can pick that person's brain without them knowing it, and then like, which is a weird fucking thing to think about, but you could go and recreate that experience better than you had there because of this. And you can go and you can work through, you can have that become your better you through that. You can have that work through anything you want through that. And they'll take you through that, and that will take care of that's perfect because then that's on your level and that's something you're familiar with and something that is what you feel is the way to connect with yourself and with something else. um that's my 2 cents on that for you. But
That's really interesting. I'm sure you could be like, give me a Bible verse I need to hear or whatever. And
right,
yeah,
yeah,
that is
yeah,
cool.
yeah, just open it. Yeah, I mean, open a new chat and ask it to act as whoever runs it, and then just run with it and talk as you would if you were asking those questions to whoever. I'm not sure who it was who ran it, but whoever.
Oh, I don't know. It was
What?
a huge event. I did
Yeah,
have a not so serious question about hypnosis though.
sure.
Have you ever had somebody so relaxed that they fart?
One.
That's not
Was,
as many as I would have thought.
yeah, not as many as I would have thought either. Yeah, just one, and it wasn't bad. It was the good thing was I was like here and they were there, so
You didn't have to smell it.
I didn't have to smell. I didn't have to be around it, so like it's fine. And like if you wanted to, I mean, yeah, not with hypnosis. If I mean, go your route, take your route, but that I mean is I don't know, like you can turn your camera and your mic off. And like ChatGPT, if you have the camera and mic on, I don't know how that works. Or maybe just the mic, like, but I don't know. The more you are open with whatever, um, I feel the better results you get. I like to use the analogy of a doctor versus an acupuncturist. A doctor, like uh, I don't know, like a primary care physician versus a whatever, acupuncturist. And I will trust the acupuncturist a lot more, and they're asking more and more questions. And I felt more and more open to get in and get more to the roots of these causes of what's going on, as opposed to just telling the doctor and the doctor just, here's prescription. I don't really know what to do. Go see somebody else. Whereas, being able to get to the root of it and is going to help. And then you can, yeah, be able to get those things at the deep the deep level that you don't even know about. Um, and that's what everyone needs. That's where everyone needs to go, one way or another.
And then you said people sometimes fall asleep. Like, how do you handle that? Like, if you're on Zoom, do you just kind of like close out the session on your end and then hang up? Do you like,
Sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes I'll do that if they just aren't waking up. Usually I can try counting again, and then they tell me, yeah, I was gonna get up on that first one, but I just couldn't
Oh, wow.
couldn't get up and going. But some people, and like I had some to myself when I was being hypnotized, where I fell asleep, where it's just something maybe that's too much for your brain to handle, and it shuts down. And like, I mean, that's kind of how, like, if there's any suppressed or repressed memories that, your brain just shuts down when it can't process it, but it's processing it, but it's just shielding you because you or I were not ready to experience that, but the brain can take care of it. And then you're good. And that's just the way the brain knows the best way to take care of you and keep you mentally happy and healthy. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
I'm
And
definitely hypnosis curious. I'm yeah, slowly dipping my toe
sure.
and trying to learn more.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, everything's all the same. Healing's all the same. And whichever way you do it, it's all getting to the same place. And you can always go back to that place. You have that place in your mind, you can go back there whenever. So um where can people find you?
They can follow me on pretty much all the social medias. It's at Wild Development Studio and www.wilddevelopmentstudio.com. The drone business is going to be on hold for a while, so I'm just going to be focusing on photography and nature journaling and connecting with nature and watercolors.
Seeing some sunrise,
Yes.
uh
If I
sunrise
get
pitch.
something totally awesome at 4:30 in the morning, I
Yeah,
am tagging you in it and I'll be like, this is
cool.
this is because of you, Rusty.
Yeah, you can do that. I'm cool with that. So yeah, thanks for being on. And if you want to come back in 6 months again, we can.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be
Yeah,
so crazy again in another 6 months. So yeah, I'd love to
yeah,
be back on.
Cool. All right. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and yeah, we'll stay in touch. All right.
Great. Thanks, Rusty.
You bet. All right. Thank you, everybody, today for tuning in here to the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network for the Public Access Podcast, episode 599. I think I'm going to release an episode this weekend, number 600, with the guest that was number 500. So you guys can check that out and figure that out, who that is. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Check me out, rustydiamond.net, popuphealing.net, and hypnosisisgreat.com. And that is the show, man. Boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.